G'day guys, Hector back again, this time with a tutorial on porting weapons between different Call of Duty games. So get started using Tom BMX's Xmodel utilities. So open up the
Why,
tool.
hello there.
Now I'm going to transfer the AK-47 from COD 4, so you want to make sure you've got your directory structures set up within settings. Make sure you've got your games that you're going to convert from. Set your active game, of course, and save. So I'm doing the AK-47. Now there's lots of different models for the AK-47. How do we know which one we want? Well, I just want to take the normal AK-47 model that's used in multiplayer. So there is an easy way to find that out. If you go to your Call of Duty Modern Warfare or COD 4 directory and open up Asset Manager. Obviously you have to have COD 4 mod tools installed. Makes it a lot easier. So we'll open up Asset Manager. And we need to open up the weapons file that has the AK-47, and from there we can see what the world and the view models are, and then we can go ahead and export them out. So here's the AK-47, and we'll scroll down a bit. And somewhere past midway there it is, the two model names for the view model and the world model. Wonderful. So we'll go and find them. There we go, there's one. And down there. Yeah, the ACOG's on there. It gets hidden with the hide tags there. Hide tag ACOG. Okay, so that's definitely it. We've got both of the models. And what else do we need to know? The animations, yes. We're going to convert them from COD 4 to Black Ops as well. So what we want to do is go to RAW, and then XM, XANIM, X animations, and we want to go and find all of those animations associated to the AK-47. There they are. Or some of. So, for the sake of time, I have already done that. Yep, there they are. Now, the only little change that you need to make to these animations, you need a hex editor. I use HXD, and you open them up, drag them in there, or however you want to open them up, and so originally, if you're pulling them from COD 4 or World at War, the first byte is going to be 11. That's the version of animation that they're up to for COD 4 or World at War, using the same. In Black Ops, it's 13. There's not a great deal of changes. I don't think there's anything different in the actual format itself, other than a few new a few different M types. But it's called 13, so we need to change the original ones to 13. Now you want to. I usually like to make a new file write 13 in, and then paste write 13 into the animation that I'm converting, because you don't want to change the size of the file, so you want to change 11 to 13. You don't want to add 13 in before 11 or after 11 or anything. You want to change the 11 to 13. And vice versa. You can also, I mean, if you're changing Black Ops animations back down to World at War or COD 4, just change that first byte to 11, and you can get it into COD 4 or into World at War. So for the sake of time, I've done all of the COD 4 animations for the AK-47 already. They're all ready for Black Ops. I'll just double check a couple. Yeah, okay, so they've all got 13. There is the first byte. That's good. That'll come in handy later when we pull in the gun to Black Ops. Okay. Okay, so we'll export them out now. Now the quickest way to do this is just to click the Export XE button up the top. There was an issue earlier with that, but I believe it's been resolved now. But this way, exporting the MA is you have to bring it into Maya and bind it and then export it out again. But it's good if you want to make any changes or if you're having any issues with the Export XE feature. So I mean, this is the longer way around, but you can get it down to a couple of minutes really quickly once you get the hang of it. So we'll open up our AK-47 file. Few models there as well. Yep. I think I make a mistake here at the start. When I was recording this the first time and then saved my computer blue screen, so I have to narrate this over the top again. So it's trying to remember what I was doing here. Alright, we need to open up that model file into Maya. Now the mistake I make at the start here is dragging the Maya file into Maya. The Maya file into Maya, the .ma file. I'll correct myself later on, so I'll just continue on. But the basics of what you want to do is you want to open your model file. You drag in your bind.mel file. Now that does all the weighting of the paint weighting itself. You don't have to do anything. It's all done there. Now, obviously, if I wanted to make any changes, like I could have deleted that ACOG before I binded, but I didn't. Anyway, because I'm going to hide it later using the engine. Here with hide tags, so I can actually hide the ACOG because it's bound to tag ACOG. So if I hide that tag, the mesh bound to it, associated to it, is also hidden. Tricky. Okay, so correct way to to export out, what I like to do is, what am I doing here? Yep. Yep. Okay. This is where I'm correcting myself on my opening procedure. So if you drag your Maya file in like that, it won't actually, when you go to export your file, it doesn't know where to export it to. This way it's easy. If you open that scene, that Maya file via the Maya menu system, when it comes time for export, it will actually send the export file to where you opened up your Maya file, so we know where it is, which is great. It saves us having to play around trying to get into Black Ops, and it sometimes has errors and you have to make funny directory structures. It's just much easier to export out to your working directory. So there we go. Might come in a different view this way. We'll just go to our default view to get it back to normal. There we go. Now exporting. Of course, yes, we'll bind our file first. We have to do that. Now open up your Xmodel exporter plugin in Maya. I've named mine Fail Tools in a rage moment, but yours will be called Call of Duty, World at War, or COD 4 or something. So anyway, open up the model exporter, and I like to do this first. Just you'll see later on why. So we'll leave that open. We'll put it over to the side now. First, I left click on the joints, say, and then I'll hold down Control and highlight the mesh, the start of the meshes, and then what we need to do, well, this is just a little trick I was taught, is select hierarchy in the edit menu, and then they need to be revealed also, so we'll go up to display just up here and reveal selected. That way all our meshes and all our tags and joints, they're all displayed and ready to be added into the model exporter window. Just an easy way to do this, because if you get larger models, there's going to be lots of different things you need to select. Anyway, so once that's all done, we'll auto-populate create from selection, because we've just selected what we want in there, which is everything, but anyway. So now we'll select that entity and we'll set exports. Now we'll only click this once. It's very important you only click that once. If you click it twice, it will add in tags twice, and if you go to export that, you'll get duplicate tag errors and all sorts of silly things. So you can, if you think you might have, you can hit the edit exports button down the bottom there, and it'll show you what it has actually added. See there. So as long as everything's in there once. You don't have to add all the meshes, but it does need one mesh to attach to. It'll error out about some meshes later on, but that's okay, we'll just ignore them. And from there we're ready. We have that highlighted and we click export selected. Save changes, yes, why not? Okay, here there's me meshes that don't exist, don't need to be there. Okay, yes. No need to worry about that too much. Now, the vertex colors, I could have fixed that earlier, but the exporter plugin will do that for you. So just click yes to all and that'll paint them all white. Yeah, so you don't have to really worry about that too much. And we should have a successful export in the working directory of our Maya file. Yep, on my desktop, Xmodel export, and there's our Xmodel export file. Just out of curiosity, I'll show you how simple creating this file can actually be in hopefully in the newer version of Tom's Xmodel tools. I'll click the export XE button and show you the difference between those two files. Yes, I'm doing that now. I'll just rename this in case it doesn't make it the same name, but yes, now the donation, always a good idea. Tom's spent a lot of time on this, many hours and a lot of hard work, and he's still putting in a great deal of work. If you find it useful, definitely head over to PayPal and throw in some cup of tea or something. Give him a beer or something. It only takes 2 seconds. Okay. Now that should have exported. Okay, so that should have exported it out. An Xmodel export file, which is, if I did everything my job right back in Maya, should be exactly the same. I think it is. 594, 594, 35716. Yeah, okay. Anyway, which is good. There was an issue earlier where the models were sometimes extremely large, but I believe that's been resolved in any case. Okay, so I'll quickly do the other model. I won't be so explaining on this one. That's why I like to open up that first, because it tends to unselect items. Okay. Yeah, don't need to worry about that now, you nub. Okay. This first things first, we need to open up Black Ops launcher or whatever, and open up Asset Manager. I'll probably just open up Asset Manager directly here. I'm not sure what I'm thinking I'm doing. Okay, here. No, first I'm moving the model file, the Xmodel files, export files that we just created from Maya into model export mods file in the Call of Duty Black Ops root directory. I just like to do this, and it needs to be somewhere in Black Ops root directory when you're using Asset Manager to create your Xmodel file. So for both models, we'll need to copy over the that's another thing. I set my export options to export TGA for time's sake. I don't need much detail. It's just easier and quicker to do TGA. So we need the images associated to the models from COD 4 as well. They were exported out in a file called images when we exported. So I just copied the whole folder for both of those models, and we'll paste them into our folder here. And that's everything we need and more. We don't really need the the Maya files or anything. That was just a waste of space. But anyway, next thing we need to do will be open up Asset Manager. Probably best you just open up Launcher first. We need it anyway to create a new mod and do other things. Okay, that's COD 4. So we'll open up. We need to go back to Black Ops. Something funny. They just use the same registry keys for Asset Manager or for our World at War and Black Ops. I think the COD 4 seems to be okay. If you go back to open after playing in another Asset Manager, it'll open up fine. But World at War and Black Ops seem to conflict with each other, and you'll open up one and you'll be in the other's directory. Anyway, so we need to open up AK_47 GDT. That's not the right one. It's up the top. Of course, it's A. There you go. Right there. Nope. Must have been a little blind that day. There we go. He's found it. Okay, so there is the AK-47. The reason I'm using this is obviously it's easy. It's got everything ready for an AK-47, and even 99.9% of the animation names are the same. The sound names are in there. Everything's all ready to go for me. So I'm going to go and open up a second instance of Asset Manager, and yes, okay, so just showing you the original one and all the things that we're going to remove and change. So we'll open up a second instance now. Loading. There we go. Okay. And yes, I should have bullet weapon selected there. That's okay. Anyway, we'll go back to AK-47, select it, and hit copy to. Open our second instance and click on paste from. Now we need to give it a name other than obviously AK-47 because that's already used. Okay. Yeah, that wouldn't have happened if I had selected bullet weapon first. Anyway, Okay, good. We'll save that, and we'll come back and edit it later once we actually have some models to deal with. Okay, so we pick animated, then we need to go and pick that particular Xmodel export file. Great. Now we'll save that, and we will save this one in the model export file. I know this is using multiple GDTs, but that's okay. I've learned to live with it. I've got an order, and I'm used to it. Now, create the view. Animated. We'll use my one that I did from Maya. The other one probably would be fine, but anyway. Now we need to create some materials before we convert our X models. Now, an easy way to find the names of them, you can change them here as well. I'm not going to change anything, I'm just going to do it. Another thing is there's a lot of materials here that don't need to be there, things for the ACOG and whatnot. But whatever, I'm just going to convert them all for the sake of time. However, I'm just going to convert, we'll do the settings for one texture, and then I'll skip ahead and do all the others. And this will give you a good idea of the process involved in converting textures and the settings needed. No changes need to be made to those settings. Really, maybe only the blend function, blend or replace, is probably the only thing you need to muck around with, like for the lens and stuff. Okay, so let's get started. Create a new material. I'm going to start with the bottom one, weapon ACOG rectangle. And just throw some basic settings at you that should work for pretty well everything. If anything looks funny, just come back and double check you've used the correct texture in color map. That's another thing, I'm only going to do color maps for this. If you want spec maps and normals and stuff, then you can go ahead and do that. If you even know what they are, then you're obviously good enough to go ahead and just add them down there anyway. If you don't know what they are, then don't worry about it. You don't know what they are. Just use color maps. It won't look as good, but you'll get away with it. I do tend to use normals and detail specs and whatnot, but for tutorials and getting things done quickly, proof of concepts, what's the point? Obviously, a gun is, you pick your service type, it's metal. Now, you leave it on, I tend to just leave it on replace, depending on what the texture is. You might have to come back and change it to blend. Okay, so now we'll find our color map. That's obviously, it's next to the material name in the Xmodel export file down there. Right there, so, yep, rectangle.col, so we'll find that. Rectangle. Yep. Yeah, it has got the specs and whatnot there, but yeah, we're not going to use them. Okay. And our next one, I'm going to skip ahead. Yeah, okay, there we go. I did it. So all of our materials are done. So we'll convert our models. It'll give you any errors if you haven't converted all of your textures or something's wrong. It'll tell you there. Okay, so there's our two model files converted. Going in here, we should be able to see those models that we just converted, and there they are. Okay, yeah. Notice the lens. Everything else is good, but that lens, I need to go back and fix that. But well, I don't really, because I'm hiding the ACOG. I don't need it. I'm not going to use it. I should have deleted it and shouldn't have converted the textures. It was a waste of time. But anyway, yeah, the world model doesn't even have it anyway. So whatevs. Yeah, it all looks good, and tags are bound correctly. Everything's great. Now we need to go back to our AK-47 JDT that we made earlier, and we can use these two model files within that. So we'll open up that. I believe I named it, it was in source, and it was Rotec something, Rotec 2 something. There it is. Alright, we'll change a few things in here. We change the model, the tags hidden, get rid of all of those. and we'll put the ones from COD 4 and they're the ACOG ones that we're going to hide. Okay, now the animations, all the names are the same except for one. I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, so view's obviously going to be my view, and the world's going to be my world. Okay. Now, just going to check the animation names. They are all the same except for the ADS fire, maybe, or one of the ADS ones I think is a little bit different, like a words back to front or something, but I'll fix that up later. The first pull-out animation needs to be changed as well. Another thing that I'll fix later. Also, another thing, if you were wanting to pull in the COD 4, if it was for a model or whatnot, I suppose it wouldn't matter. But if you did have any other normal AK-47s, they would use these animations. So, I mean, if you just want to keep the other ones true to themselves, I would rename all of these animations that you're converting, or bringing to Black Ops, something else. Like just put a 1 after every one of them, and then put in a 1 in here in the GDT for the weapon file after each one. So it's using a different animation. I'll show an example of the effects of that later on when we load it into game. We'll change display name. I think we should delete strat name as well. It's something to do with parenting. I don't know. I don't think we need to parent it. Okay, so we'll create a new mod, and I'm just going to copy some files from a previous mod, just something that I use for testing different RC vehicles and whatnot. Yeah. Yep. RC button, we'll use that. Okay. So we need to obviously add in a couple of things here. We need to add in all of our animations to the fast file so that they override the AK ones. Like I talked about before, we really should rename them to something different so they don't override other animations, but that's what I'm going to do in this example. So we need to add animations, we need to add the two Xmodel files that we've just created to the fast file, and we need to add the weapon file to the fast file as well. And then we need to obviously give that weapon to the player in a model or something, so, and pre-cache the items. And of course all the images. Now the of course easy way, sort by date, and there's all the IWIs associated to the weapon. You go into images, we'll add them, and we'll need to add them to the IWD to the associated to the mod, of course. What else? We need the Xmodel. We need those two, and we'll also get any parts and any surfaces. This is of course only for compiling purposes. When you're handing out the end product, you only obviously give them a fast file and an IWD, but we know that. So any parts, once again, sort by date. Curious, they're called Tom weapon because that's the name of the mesh in Maya when I exported. It's non-effective. And any surfaces. Okay. Now we need to create a new folder for our animations. Yes, we'll just create a new one. And copy all our animations that we made. Some of these I'm not using. Well, I'm not using the melee animations, but anyway. We'll do the animations. This of course can be time consuming. Now I should really skip ahead here, but I've forgotten to, and I couldn't be bothered doing it now. I've already had to re-narrate this this whole video due to a blue screen right at the end. But I was lucky enough to have saved the video, so I'm not complaining there. I don't have to redo all the conversion. getting a bit frazzled by now. Hadn't realised I'd put in the animation twice above me also. And yes, when not using the melee. Now, of course, yes, we need our model files and our weapon file. Last two things that need to be added. Yeah, I don't know why I did that. I knew the names. And that's pretty well all we need to add to the CBS of the mod as far as files go. Yes, we do need to hide those tags in our weapon file for Black Ops, because we don't want the ACOG showing. And of course we need to pre-cache and self-give the weapon upon spawn. So we need to pre-cache item AK-47 and sorry, we need to pre-cache the what am I doing there? That's wrong. We need to pre-cache the pre-cache item Rotec AK-47MP, which is our weapon file. I don't know if weapon works, but it's actually item. And then we need to pre-cache our model for our AK-47 world and view, as I will do here. I can see a syntax error there. I'll fix later. And yes, we'll need to self-give that that weapon on spawn. And then we're pretty well ready to test in game. We need to rebuild our IWD. The only thing we need to include, well, for my particular purpose, I need an animation tree. You don't need to worry about those. You need to re-include the IWRs for your models. So I'll just highlight all of them, and the rest goes into the fast file. This is coming up pretty close to about where my computer blue screened, and I lost all the audio to this recording. So I'll stop it now, and we'll head over to a new part where we'll show you the result in game and fix up any errors before we do. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.